the vote for each party. Indeed, they can continue dancing on the streets for the time being. We allow them to do that. But let them prepare themselves for the real duel, because it is coming. And this is the first time, by the way, in all the conversations I have undertaken in a studio, when we have discussed excitement in the in the voter turnout in a party primary. Mm-hmm. You don't discuss it at this point. How the party picks, nobody cares, actually.
You could even have a delegate.
Let me finish. Mm-hmm. Let me finish. You could actually have, and I repeat once again, you could actually pick the 10 candidates, sit them in a boardroom, make them go round through a consensus, agree to the strongest candidate, or even do a poll. A poll where you actually ask Kenyans in Olkalau, who do you think is the most popular among the 10? Conduct 3 polls, compare the results of the 3 polls without going to vote for party primaries, and come out with the strongest candidates and convince the others maybe to support the strongest candidate or to make a decision on what they want based on the resources the party has available. And that's why in 2022, we were trying to ask IEBC to reconsider its rules on how they can support political parties, because most of the political parties actually do not have the capacity to conduct very free and fair nominations without being supported by IEBC, because some of the political parties cannot even afford the ballot boxes, cannot even afford the ballot paper, cannot even afford the workforce. So we were trying to push IEBC to help parties to democratize at that low level, so that when you move up with the candidates, you have used democracy all through, from the grassroots right up to the top. But for a party now to dance when just after party primaries, it's a very unusual behavior, but it's okay, it can happen because things change and political landscape changes. And of course, based on the context we are in right now, they're allowed to dance and enjoy themselves for a moment, but come tomorrow, let them prepare to go to Olkalau, because the same people they are saying could not turn up to vote in our party primaries, they will be surprised.
And
finally, about the choice of the date, I repeat once again, even for purposes of other political parties, when you pick a weekday is when even the schools are being used by the children. So even the activity that you'll be allowed within those schools will be very controlled and very managed, because you don't want to disrupt the classes, isn't it? You don't want to disrupt the classes. So there are certain factors that usually determine how the voter turnout becomes, especially on the choice of dates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear from you,
I think we have said enough in terms of excitement and in terms of the dates when the nominations were done and the reasons why. But if we go by the line of excitement, I think UDA comes out very excited. Do you know the Deputy President of this Republic, even before the late David Karaho was buried, he went to those sides of the Raka and start saying how they will deal with DCP. That's the way they did it in Bere, before even the late Kara was buried. So if you talk about excitement, that supersedes everything else, because in our tradition, we don't talk about inheritance to a person before he's even buried. It was out of order. It was in bad taste. And despite the fact that we're in politics, talking about how they will thrash DCP in Olkalau to teach the same lesson they did in Bere, even before Honorable David was buried, was in bad taste. So if we are saying there's excitement, the excitement is on the part of the UDA party. And since we are just concluding, I think we are just representatives of the people, and we listen to what the people are saying. And I think the party leader, DCP party, during the funeral of the late Honorable Keraho, before the president, he said it the way it is, that he may have been removed through bribery of these members of parliament, which my good friend here, Veronica, voted to kick him out. He may have bribed them to kick Gachagua out, but he cannot kick out the people from the DCP and the Gashagua's party.
Okay.
And regarding barriers,
our time, I'm sorry, Senator, but we have actually overshot the time here.
We should avoid campaigning and politicking over dancing on
the grave.
I think so. I think that goes. That lands,
I think we need to change that culture
squarely. I think that lands squarely on the feet of very, very many politicians across board. Unfortunately,
I don't like it. I didn't like what happened in Olkalau.
Yeah.
The showdown is unnecessary when we have a family that is bereaved, and I empathize.
We shouldn't actually have this kind of behavior
with the family. That behavior should never be condoned.